welcome back to this week's reading. This reading will be all about what is blocking the connection. Could also, stray away a little, maybe kind of go into more detail about the connection. I love these readings, and it's kind of great because a lot of people prefer these kinds of readings. We just are hopeless romantics who want to know more about love and want to feel connected. We are people searching for other people, right? And I love these readings because I get to connect with two people. So it's mostly just like kind of going into their minds and seeing like how they're feeling or deciphering what certain kind of like how people decide to put themselves out compared to how they're actually feeling and how that kind of connects. And also things bringing up that might be, things that you might want to avoid that I'm kind of bringing into light because I'm like, hey, like, I get it. Like, this is important to you, but you have to look at it from another perspective. Okay, so here we have a carnelian, we have a red calcite, and then we have a quartz. So whichever you feel most drawn to, I always try to pick very different ones so that way you have your options. And plus, if you also feel more inclined to pick more than one, you are free to. It's always good to kind of like skip through the readings depending on like which one, like if you feel more, drawn to one, but then you feel almost drawn to the other. It's always good to like check back on that one because sometimes it might relate like certain aspects and things we want to hear. So remember to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Either way, feel free to pick. And then we'll see you there. All right. Bye. Hi. All right. So this is all for my carnelians. I love the carnelian because I always see it as kind of a crystal of confidence, a crystal of empowerment almost. And I would always like have one in my pocket. I used to always carry one with me. Today, we'll be using the Light Seer Tarot, and then as well as my favorite go-to tarot, which is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. It's a great start for anyone who's willing to get a deck that kind of is like the Rider-Waite, but the art is just so gorgeous. It is literally my favorite. As well as I'm using these cards I made a long time ago. They're pretty much just like kind of cue cards that kind of tell me like it's more like love messages. I try not to take them exactly directly. I try to always kind of see what the vibe is based on the energy because a lot of these can be kind of pretty hopeful. So take them as you will. So your card for this is the Fool. Interesting. There seems to be kind of like a stagnancy in the relationship, a no moving forward, or maybe you feel as if you can't move forward. It feels quite like it's not going anywhere. It almost feels as if it's drowning a little. Now I kind of want to see why that is more than just assuming that it might be stagnant, because this card upside down could mean many things. So I just feel a sort of like reluctancy. And from which party, I am not too sure. And there is no drive, I will say. There's just kind of a not knowing of where this is going. Perhaps not wanting to see as well. Because when I get cards upside down, the energy is quite evident to be able to shift. So, for example, the Fool could easily turn upright just by certain decisions. The Knight can easily turn upright depending on decisions as well. So it all honestly depends on you. Let's see. Yeah, there is just no movement whatsoever. It's just kind of like a resting stage. This is very, very annoying. I feel you feel quite stagnant. You feel like there is no progression, there is no working together, there is just... I feel as though you already might be in a connection and you're quite aware of it, whether if it's established or not. Could be even a long term that I see. I just feel like there's no movement, there's no drive. You guys are both resting right now. I'm not sure if you guys have both gone through some trauma experiences or have gone through big hurdles which have led you to kind of be like this. There's no energy to even work together because all that energy is being put to yourself. Now, there is a sense of healing at the moment, so I think that's the main priority. And I don't think it's blocking the connection in a negative way. I just feel like you guys are both attempting to try and work yourselves out first before you can work together. I just see that's the main blockage. Like, it's just cut through. I'm going to take out, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. I'm always curious about, yeah, there's no moving forward. It's quite clear. There's, oh my god, I'm sorry, like, this is the most I've seen for upside down cards, and I usually shuffle my cards really well. So I just moved and there's something upright. There is no fire, there's no light, and I kind of want to know more. From what I know and what I see, it's like you don't have the words, you don't have the desire to speak or say anything. It's like, this is all I have, and the rest I have is for myself, or it could be vice versa. It could be dealing with an air or water sign. I just feel lots of flowiness and kind of just an obstruction of that. Lots of air, lots of blue. That's what I see. I'm going to take out one of these cards. I'm not sure how much it might work out, but I've never really used these cards in a video, so I'm a little curious. Let's see. I'm also thinking of taking out my other cards that I've done. They just have random words on them, just to help me kind of figure out maybe some more information. Yeah, this is great. I'm working hard on the next steps. So I think, yeah. So it's pretty much, this one's taken as the Eight of Pentacles. So it's just kind of like a stagnancy of where the next step is and trying to plan ahead for that. So perhaps there is a visual to see of where this might lead, where this might go, but it's a little difficult when the first step isn't achievable or hasn't been achieved yet. And I think I think there is a lot of planning, but both parties know that there is no action. Perhaps maybe one party might feel as though they feel left behind, but it feels like it's quite understood that neither party is putting in the effort. There is no passion and there's no push for passion. It feels quite dead end, and I'm not gonna say, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it just feels like a dead end reading, but I will try to get as much as I can possible. So I'm just gonna put this here because it's just quite evident, as well as like at the bottom of the deck, or it just says that there is not enough room to kind of keep feelings. Maybe there's no time to have another party right now. Everything just feels a little overwhelming. There's too much going on. And there's just no room. It's like the heart space is kind of filled. Maybe the mental space is also filled. I'm going to take some of my other cards. These are just like cards I just write words on. Sometimes, I don't know, they're a little harder to connect, but sometimes, like, I just feel like I need to know a little more. There is just a blockage, I think, mentally and through the heart space as well. Sometimes I find when people block, there is just nothing to give out. And sometimes people seek love readings, but it's a little hard when someone doesn't want to give their energy as well. Some people are protected and some people just don't want to be seen. I will say you probably are in a sort of caring relationship. There is love in terms of, I see you, I understand you, and I think you guys are both not saying anything but are willing to give each other the space needed. There is a mutual understanding. Like, I get it. You are not giving me the energy even though I lack it, because I know you need the energy for yourself, and I think it's a mutual thing. I think you're stuck. I think you're feeling like the reason why you've come here maybe today is because you're wanting that desire. And I think it's like a confusion of whether or not you want it for yourself or you want someone to give that to you. Because there seems a lack of love just in general. And I think you're trying to excuse it by finding it through someone else when maybe you might need that for yourself. And I think this is kind of like the stage of trying to figure out that self-love, because whether or not you give it to yourself, I mean, I do see this as like a positive relationship, but whether or not this relationship continues or ends all depends on you and how you decide to develop things with the other person. Because I do feel like this is already settled. Because if this wasn't a settled relationship, there would be no reason to continue this connection at all. Because you would know, okay, like I don't need to have this person in my life, so I'm gonna just stick to self-care and I'm gonna cut this off. You know what I mean? Or it could be like a situationship where it feels like a relationship, but they're not giving you anything. And I think the clear sign is to cut it off, because you clearly need like the work to kind of heal yourself, and they need the work to heal themselves too. It could be something that's like stagnant now, and I think you know what the reason is, but you don't want to come into kind of realizations of it. It's as if like the universe is asking you to like give yourself a little more confidence, give yourself a little more love. The reason why sometimes I always associate it with the crystal given, because it's like that lack of and that need to put yourself out in order to kind of heal. And I think you're just kind of staying back. You're just staying in the corner. Woo! Submissive. Yeah, there's no kind of force or power. There's no dominance. I think you guys are both in a submissive role right now. There's no push or pull. And it feels a little lackluster to you, and you know that. You feel a little tired because you just kind of want the excitement, but you also don't want to push for the excitement. And you're expecting and kind of putting that on your person, when in reality, you know they kind of really can't give that to you right now. So I think you need to figure out what the next steps are necessary for you, because it does seem like you're a little lost, and you're going to kind of continue in this kind of stagnancy unless you change something. So I would like to see, oh, you might be a little shy too. You might be like, ooh, like, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have it in me. Like, you are someone who likes to hide on the corner, and maybe you also have a partner who's also the same. So there could be kind of this thing where it's like you guys are now very, very similar, where there's no push and pull. And I think you need that push and pull in some way where you guys challenge yourselves. Maybe that's what's needed. I definitely think right now the process is to rest, to not deny it. And by resting, I mean like healing yourself. So it doesn't mean that it has to be boring. It just means you kind of have to learn to heal yourself and do things that push you to heal that, whatever might be wounded, whatever trauma response you have, how your outlook is with yourself, how your outlook is with other people, right? So we're going to take more light to tarot. Remember when I first started watching YouTube videos, like these were the biggest, oh, what's this? Making choices, the Chariot. Let's see. So this was upside down. I'm just going to take it because it's just kind of popped out. So this is like the need to make choices, and it's funny because you don't want to make any choices right now, so you kind of go on the same path. And I think you need to start doing at least one action to be able to move to the next step. You are kind of creating your narrative right now in knowing that, you know, you're aware you're not doing anything, but there's no like push for that. And I think it would benefit you and the connection to move in a direction, so that way your partner can sense that kind of pull, right? And by shifting our energy, the energy of people around us change as well. Whether they decide to leave, whether they decide to stay, that's all up to them. It's just, we need to move our vibration. We need to like dust the carpet mat to be able to refresh ourselves and start shifting how we push our energy and which direction we push to. So because of the stagnancy, all our cards are upside down. Now, if we were to choose a path, if we were to decide a direction with confidence, there's a lot of blues and gloom. Like, that's what I feel, but you have to shift your energy to kind of excitement and reds, and that's where the carnelian comes in. That's where the color comes in, the shift of color from blue to orange, right? It's just like this excitement of following a direction. Perhaps you should pick a direction that feels most scary, but also more exciting to you at the same time. Something that will be like, oh, I don't know if I could do this, but then you still do it. I think that will be kind of an eye-opening experience for you, and you will see how things will shift depending on how you decide to choose things. There is like a melancholy, and I'm sorry if it feels like there's no way things might change and there's no way that things will move as quickly as you want them to. There is a sort of time, but I will assure you that the closer you reach and make choices, the more quicker the time might feel. The more quicker you'll realize, wow, I feel great, like I've healed so much and I've grown so much. But right now you're processing. Whatever it might be, whatever you're going through, you're currently processing everything. And I believe your partner is too. I think this is where kind of, I don't know if you guys went through something together. I don't know whether or not you guys both went through different things together, or you're coming to a conclusion. This could be an ending or continuation. I will not justify whatever that is to you. It's whatever you take it as. But I know there has to be a step taken to know and understand which direction your energy is shooting out. It's like a comet, you know, you're ready to burn, you're ready to go forward. But where do you want to head out? And don't take the safe route. Don't take anything safe. Challenge yourself. I feel like there hasn't been any challenges, there hasn't been any push, and I think you need that. You need that push, you just need something that challenges you as a person to evolve. And I think you're going through a tower moment because you're kind of in a stage where it's relaxing, but not in a happy way, where it's like you're processing everything that's happened, and now it's time to get back on your feet and start moving forward. So listen, I don't blame you, but I think you know why this connection is being blocked and why things in your life feel like they're being blocked. And it's happening to the person you're connected to as well. You're not the only person going through this. It feels quite mutual. So yeah, I hope that helped in a way. I just feel like I have to take one more card. Let me see at the bottom of the deck. Oh, interesting. I do feel like the Emperor we have at the bottom of the deck, I do feel as if this is a shifting energy for you, where it might almost feel like impossible to be this person, whether it be the boss or the girl boss, or just someone who is more supportive and more stable, and someone who's willing to kind of stand their ground. It's as if I see someone quite fragile and seeing a version of themselves they want to be but don't know how to achieve it. And I do want to say that this is possible, or else I wouldn't have gotten this card. This person is someone that you can become and kind of embody. It just takes time. All it takes, like, do you see the color of it? All it takes is the direction and the input and kind of the movement that you want to take to be able to achieve this. Just takes one step. So, you know, like, you're working hard on the next steps. You know, this person is too. So, you know, be the person who makes the next step. Be the leader. Be the leader. And then people will follow. The people needed in your life will follow depending on the energy output and the frequency you give out. Those are the people. And if people leave and people get cut out, then whatever. The next step of your journey has started. And it's waiting for you to receive it. Simple. I'm really excited for you because your outlook does look better. And I do want you to believe that you are capable of this vision of yourself. And the fact that you do have a vision is perfect, and embody that vision. Every step you take, think about like, okay, does this embody the vision I have for myself that I want to be? And if so, then do it. Orange is a big, big color. Orange is a huge color for you. I'm not sure if you've disliked orange or if you liked orange in the past and now you're liking it. It's just so specific, but I just see orange. I see something bright. I see something exotic. I see something lavishing. I see sunflowers. I see the sun. I almost see like the Queen of Wands. I haven't gotten the Queen of Wands, but that card kind of embodies the feeling of I am everything, I am abundant, and I am as bright as the sun. And you have to kind of feel that. You have to feel that you are as bright as the sun and that you deserve. I know it's like a hard journey, but it is a necessary journey for you to take, because it's the one that will kind of make you bloom the way you're meant to bloom. So remember, don't be afraid. And I think you're here because you're ready for the next course of action. Like you're craving that. And I think it's time to be able to push yourself to do that. And just know that there is no rush, there is no time limit, but start acting by feeding what your intuition needs, right? If it's wanting to pursue something, then pursue it. If it's wanting to experience something, let it. Don't put yourself back just because you're afraid that you either don't deserve it or you feel like you need to kind of hide yourself away. Because in these situations, when we're most mentally vulnerable, it is kind of our first go-to. It's our fight or flight reflex, right? So I'm just gonna put these here. These were pretty much all the cards that we had. And yeah, so that's sorry if it's not exactly maybe what you were thinking of, but I just felt like a huge emphasis on who you are and how you were taking things right now. And the reason why this was blocked is mostly because you're kind of blocking it, and they're blocking it because there's just no room and no space for it. And the best way to kind of let that action forward is by one person starting to do something and starting to shift their energy, because the energies of others will follow. It is just how it works. And if not, then, you know, things will flow and remove how, you know, they will kind of, the trash will take itself out. I'm not saying like they're trash. I'm just saying like, you know, whatever doesn't connect won't connect, and just things that are in our frequency will follow with our frequency, right? So there you go. I hope you liked it, and take care, and I will see you next week, guys. Bye. Hi. Welcome to all my red calcite. I remember I was having issues trying to figure this out, so I like FaceTime my mom really quick. I'm like, can you tell me which one's this one? She always gives me random crystals and I have no idea which ones. I believe the last video too was just like, there was this green crystal and I was like, ah yes, that one is the aventurine. I don't even know how to say them. It's because I would always say them in Spanish, like aventurina. But actually it's called the crystal cola. I just call it the Coca-Cola. But anyways, this one is not part of this reading. So you picked the red calcite, and we're gonna go see what is your card. But before that, I'm just gonna introduce you to a couple more cards. This one I just wrote. I did these like a good maybe 5 years ago, 3 years ago. It's just a message, love messages, and this one is just like random words that help me kind of quote unquote intuitively connect to things that are outside of things that I might get in normal cards. So setting that aside, this is your card. You got interesting. Ooh. We could take that as 2 ways, or I could take that at least 2 ways. So this is all about what's blocking your connection, things that might be in the way of kind of being able to pursue something maybe more. Maybe you're stuck. There's like just a lack of any movement. The High Priestess talks that we might need to connect more to our intuition, or maybe we are trying to avoid our intuition. That is one way we could take it. Or kind of intuitively connecting to what we may do next for this connection. Maybe we're avoiding steps. Either way, it's all about, what I get from this right now is avoidance. Like I don't want to deal with this. They're like, I don't want to actually look into what I might have to do. Like the reality of everything is just closing your eyes in a way where you're not connecting intuitively, but closing your eyes because like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. It's none of my business. So something's going on here that you're quite actively avoiding. So let's tune into it a little more. Maybe they're avoiding something, you know, maybe it's not just you. Remember, the connection could be either or of this person or you. But usually I'll try to make that clearer. It all depends on what we're feeling, what we're seeing. Let's see. So yeah. This doesn't give me enough information. There's just like a feeling of not... Oh! What's blocking this connection? I swear to God, I'm not... This better not be a stupid situationship. I know this might be like a classic, like, oh, they're avoiding feelings because they don't want to make things official, but I have a feeling you might not want to make things official. So let's see what that's about, because clearly there's an issue here. If the cards want to pull out, if you want to give me information, do you want to give me information? I don't know. What's with all these upside down cards? I swear. Okay, I'm going to turn it upright, and then we're going to see if I'm going to get any upside down cards. Because there is also a lack of action here, like a lack of making anything official, a lack of celebrating, a lack of anything kind of being like, yeah, we're celebrating our love. We're celebrating what it is to be together. Sorry, I sound like some car engine there, but there is just a feeling of I think what's blocking this connection, and there is a sort of resistance to it, is that you're looking really closely at this person and maybe their downsides, as if you're like really peeking at their icks and seeing like, oh, but they have this and they have that and they have this and this and this. This is what's wrong with them. This is why they're not perfect for me. A little reminder that we live in a world where we have a lot of options, where in regards to love, there is lots of things we can choose from, many things we hope to get, and sometimes we can be like we can start being like a little picky with the options as well. I think if it's not your energy, it might be their energy. They might be a little picky with you. But I do feel it's because I feel like you're the high priestess. There is just a lack of wanting to move forward or making anything official. As if like you don't want to make this official. What's blocking the connection is you, maybe. Do you really want a relationship right now? Do you really want a connection? What is it that you want in this life? Do you want someone stable? Do you want to be with someone just to feel connected to? Do you want something platonic? Are you maybe not into romance at all? Are you maybe aromantic? Who knows? You know, there's all these questions that you kind of have to come into conclusion with yourself to figure out, because it's like you're avoiding something. You're like making excuses to be able to maybe continue something with someone, even though they might be expecting something out of you, when in reality, you're not being truthful with what you want in reality. So, let's see. What are you looking at in the partner? And I think maybe what might be blocking this connection might be the fact that you are looking for someone else, but you're still with this person. As if you're scared to let this person go because you're scared that you might not get something back. That you're scared that you might not get another better person. So it could either go two ways. Either you can continue and accept this person for who they are, or come to the realization that you really don't like this person, or you don't see a future with them and it's time to move on. And maybe that's what's blocking right now. It's just like the universe is trying for you to it's kind of pushing you in a direction to be able to make a decision. And you're kind of at your ends because you're trying to figure out, okay, well, like, what's going on with this connection? There seems to be a stagnancy. I don't feel as much as I used to, or maybe the person is even reacting to how your feeling is. Like your feelings are, like how your energy is shifting. Maybe they're reacting to your energy shift. So it's time to be like, okay, well, where is my energy shifting to? Where should I bring it? So make a decision, because it's like you're very unsure about this person and it's maybe not what you want. So maybe what's blocking the connection is the fact that you want something more or you want something better. And then it's like life understands that, but you're not creating the actions necessary to move that next chapter or to flip the next page. So life is like, okay, well, if I do want to bring you someone better, we need to let go of what we have now. Or if you do want something better, then let this person give you the chance to show them what they can do. But it all depends on what you feel inside and what your intuition says, right? So how are we taking this? What will we do with this? How will we continue? So I'm going to take some of these cards and get the feeling of, woo, the cards fell. Let's see. Interesting. So we have, I'm ready to be held accountable. I value you and I want to show you the love you deserve. And I want to go deeper than what's on the surface, and I want to see what love can offer. So you have these three. And what's interesting about those three is if it's like someone, I get the image of someone kneeling to you and being like, this is what I can offer. Will you take me? Will you understand? And something's a little off for you. Maybe you're having doubts. Maybe you can be like me, and maybe you have a little ROCD. Who knows? You're just having these insecurities and you're not sure whether to take these next steps. Maybe you're having like doubts and you're kind of reevaluating everything because you're trying to find these icks and excuses to be able to, who knows, be able to get rid and understand that if something goes wrong, it's not you, it was them. There's just a lot of internal battling with yourself and whether or not you feel like you deserve to continue forward or not. Maybe you're scared that this will all be for nothing. Maybe you have things in the past that have showed you that hard work ends up being nothing because you end up, you know, breaking up and moving on. So you're like, what's the point of another long term? Why should I try? So I think your reluctancy is the thing that's blocking this connection. They are willing to and wanting to go deeper, but you are quite resistant. Now remember, this could go both ways, but I honestly think if this message is for you, it should kind of really resonate with you. But if you do feel like this narrative is just for you but reversed, you could take it as is. But I will be talking as if you are the person that is kind of being reluctant about it. So you might say, hey, why are they not pulling any moves or pushing any moves on me? Why are they not attempting to try and persuade me? Because your energy isn't there. So if they don't feel it, then they won't come. You know, they might be looking, it's like I just see a house and like they're not knocking on the door because it's like you have unwanted visitors on your door. It's like, do not enter. And so like, oh, that house is a little scary. I'm not gonna try to enter. I'll talk and stuff like that, but I won't try to knock on the door if they don't want anyone to come in. So it's like you might have walls put up, and so they don't fully see how this can come if your energy isn't open to it, if your door isn't open to them. I'm gonna take a couple more cards out. So yeah, quite interesting because it's like you want it. You kind of desire something. So yeah, like they're wanting to connect, but you're not sure whether this person is the right person. Maybe there's this idea of no butterflies, no lack of action, or no passion. But at the same time, you haven't really opened your doors up for that as well. So I'm just gonna take one more out. Oh, there's two. I'll take this upright. I'll take this upright. Yeah, I also get this feeling where it's just like, why do I need them? I'm so good by myself. There is just, you could be quite content with yourself and not wanting to put all that energy. You might also see it as some sort of like drag, as if like, why, like I'm so much better than this, or I'm so much better than him. And you know what, I don't blame you. You do have this energy of like being a queen, but understand that you also have to make yourself vulnerable to be able to receive the abundance and kind of receive the bounty of a queen by someone else, right? Let them in, let them pamper you. It's funny because it's like, I just see you trying to make decisions like, which one can I choose? But you have like something really bright and like really glossy, like shining. You're just trying to look away, trying to ignore it. You're like, what are my other options? So there's this huge reluctancy. I don't know what you're trying. Maybe you're wanting them to treat you like a queen, but at the same time, like I said, you have to open up the door and open up the opportunity. You have to let them in, like give them a hint, being like, hey, can you like, or like, hey, or like be a little flirty, like let them know that you want them a little more and kind of remove the feeling of you not needing them and you not, I feel like you're trying to be a little hard to get, if I'm being honest. And you're making it really hard. And I get your situation. Like I get your reluctancy. I get why you're avoiding, and maybe you're being avoidant. Maybe you have an avoidant attachment style. I will say it's like you kind of have like everything going for in your life. Like you're really enjoying your luxury, but there's one thing that still feels like it's missing. And you just kind of have to go forward to reach that. Let's see what's in the bottom of the deck here. Oh my god! Ha! Interesting. Look at this. This is so fun. I love when the cards do this. So we have the Nine of Pentacles upright and the Nine of Pentacles down. So it's either picking your fruit and choosing whether or not you want to pick it or not. As you can see, it's like she's picking it here, but she's not picking it here. She's just admiring her bird. So it's either admiring the idea of someone or deciding to pick them. What is your choice? What is your option? And what are you going to do? I think that's the biggest thing that's blocking it, is this, you're kind of hesitant to even try to even entertain the idea that you want to choose them. And I think that's either going against something within you, or I don't know what it is. I'm just speaking out because that's how I feel about it, you know? So I want to get a couple more cards and see where this is going. But yeah, your energy is quite funny. I do think you're quite a funny person. Like, I just feel like you're quite light, and maybe you're just quite likable. But at the same time, you do have this thing, I will say, you do think highly of yourself, and I don't think that's wrong. I think that's good. But it does make it a little hard to pick someone you feel like is deserving of your kind of light. And you might feel like you aren't making the right choice because it kind of goes against what you're thinking. I don't know. It's a very peculiar thought process. I get it because I think I've been there too. But I just went with it because it felt good and I was in love, and you know what I mean? So it's just putting it aside because you want to acquire something and you want to feel something that you haven't felt in a long time, but that requires you to be vulnerable and maybe pushing aside maybe beliefs you used to think of, right? Yeah. Oh, you're very guarded, extremely guarded. Absolutely. The cards speak for themselves. I'm not choosing these cards. These cards speak. Oh, what's this? You know what? It's funny. I see the word loyal, but I think you're loyal to yourself, and that is girl boss energy. That is just big boss energy. It's just you care, and your priority is yourself, and that is perfectly fine. I think bringing that and making that clear to whoever you're bringing into your life, like, hey, like, my space is important to myself. Like, I am loyal to who I am. Like, this is who I am, and I need space to kind of grow, and you need to understand that I can give my love, but a lot of my love also goes to myself in a non-narcissistic way. It's just a way of kind of, you know, not pushing away the things that we've worked on for ourselves. And I think that's quite important. You are loyal to yourself, and fuck yeah, you know what I mean? So I think it's just coming clear to and creating boundaries and understanding that the person is wanting to connect with you, but also being clear and communicating how you are as a person and what they should expect of you. I think it's also necessary. Yeah, I think you're quite also, yeah. Actually, no, I think this person is quite logical. So as long as you're upfront and you're communicative, this person might be very passionate, but they're quite logical in the way that they think. They might just want to know why. So instead of being quiet and avoidant, this person might want to communicate. So you have to be very, very clear. Understand that they want to understand you. So please be open and vulnerable, and things that you might want to avoid talking about, talk them out. It might go against your way of nature. It might be, maybe you're used to running away and forgetting and being avoidant and dealing with yourself because you were the only person who you had. No one else maybe was there for you to understand you. So you had to just be there for yourself. You had to be your own parent, maybe. But understand that that's not the situation anymore, that these people come in and they want to know us, they want to understand us. So we have to be open to communicating, or else there could be some tricky waters. So I do see something, it was interesting because I was a little confused at first with the energy, but it seems as though the energy is kind of wanting to open up, but that's your decision. And there is kind of this desire from the other party that they want to be with you. They want to like continue things. And maybe, who knows, I hate the idea of like exes coming back, because I do believe like once that water's done or once it flows, but every situation is different. Every connection is different, especially when two parties heal. So maybe there's just like this reluctancy, and maybe this person wants to again. Or it could be someone new, or maybe it could even be a situationship where you didn't think of it anything serious, but now you're starting to, and you're a little worried. And this person is open to giving you it. They might act like to save face that they're not that interested, but as soon as you open the door, like just wait till just, you know, give a little something, like flirt, be open, communicate. And then once that person understands, that's when the floodgate goes. You know what I mean? So that is what your cards are for. So here are the cards that you've got. I think it's yours out of like the last pile. Yours was very evident to kind of understand what was going on in your mind. I believe the connection was a little iffy at first because I wasn't sure whether it was you or the other person, but I do feel like it's you. I think you're just coming to terms with opening up and sharing your energy with another person, and that can be quite scary. So I will tell you that you are all good, and that the universe kind of wants to pull you in that direction because there's a lot of colors going on in here. It's just some cards are reversed because that is kind of what's stopping you from moving forward, right? So we need that passion. We need that Queen of Pentacles, but in the upright version, so that way she's giving, she's nurturing, she shares her bounty with people instead of reserving it, right? Because you are quite guarded. You are quite guarded. And I don't blame you. Based on like everything here, it's like you just know what you're worth, and that's fair. So yeah, I hope this helped. And you know what, with these things, I always wish I understood like how they connect with people and what decisions they decide to make. But understand that your decision is entirely up to you, because like every situation could like differ from like one person to the other. So yeah, it's whatever you feel inside, whatever this reading like makes you connect, or whatever you feel most connected to, that's what you should take, right? So yeah, I hope this helped, and yeah, I'll see you next week. This was fun. Anyways, bye. Hi y'all, welcome. This is for pile 3, the people who pick the quartz. Listen, I love a good quartz. It is just so perfect. It is also not very expensive, and they're always just so pretty, and they always remind me of Atlantic, you know. I think her name's Kira. They always had crystals, and when I was a kid, I always like loved and was obsessed with them. I just wish they would glow, but sadly they don't. Anyways, welcome. This is your pile, and a little note: we will be trying to use the love message cards that I made like 4 years ago. And we'll also be using these cards. So I hope you don't mind. I usually do these cards so that way I can get a little more specific with my messages. Sometimes it's a good way to train intuition. I really suggest, if you're into tarot reading, make your own cards, get some cue cards, cut up some paper, write it down. It helps. It genuinely helps. Sometimes I could see like the word animals and I just think of a dog. I'm like, you have a dog. And they're like, oh my God, I do. But I'm like, everyone has a dog. But you know what I mean? So listen, I love doing tarot, but I am a little skeptical at times. But I just love connecting with people, and I just love tarot, and I genuinely believe sometimes the universe connects with us in the best way possible, and the easiest way possible sometimes is tarot, honestly. So I hope hopefully I can give you whatever message you're looking for today. So this one is about blockages and connections. Oh, what blockage is there? Clearly there is no blockage. Well, good news. I think it's reciprocated, and there is some passion here. I will not go deeper into what this is. I will just say that it is so far looking quite what is the word? Mutual. So we'll see. But you never know. There is a blockage, so let's figure out what that blockage is, because clearly there's something here, but something is getting in the way. Oh, that's so nice. Third parties. Uh-oh. What is going on here? This doesn't look just a little iffy. I'm just a little worried. From what I'm getting, but I could be wrong, is that there might be a third party or someone who's not giving enough, and there might be kind of this attachment to the past that one party is not letting go of. So it's like maybe they're not giving enough and they're giving you too little because there's attachments from the past that are getting in the way. That's not good. I do want more though. I want more. This card does not exist in this deck. Oh. So yeah, there is this kind of mutual connection, and there is reciprocal energy, but there is something getting in the way, and I think that's a third party. Whether or not, I'm just gonna take 4 cards, I guess, because 4 cards want to come out. There is no chance of opening the doors to something new or in a new direction. There is just there's like this feeling of not wanting to let go, or not making face to face with perhaps things that are in the dark. I do see something, whether it might be sadly an ex or unrequited love that this person has never kind of let go of. It is definitely coming back. I don't think, I mean, it could be either or energy, I will say, but I do feel as though it's the other person. The other person is just not giving you enough and giving you too little, and it's making you feel confused. It's just, there is no opening to possibilities because there is just a complete blockage of not even trying to continue or entertain or accept the new connection. They are 2 in their thoughts, 2 in their anxieties, and they cannot get over whatever this past experience was with this other person because it is kind of plaguing their mind. It is just, it's come back, and maybe it was let go because maybe that's why they started the connection. They wanted to kind of experience this something new, and there is this passion and this love, but now they are kind of pulling back, and you're kind of left feeling confused. And I feel like they feel confused too because they haven't set their mind straight. They haven't moved on from this. There is not an acknowledgement of the past, and there is no acknowledgement of accepting that the past is now, it's like not processing the trauma that has happened to be able to let it go. There is no letting go. There's just, it is completely avoidable. Like it's just being avoided completely. And because of that, the wheel has stopped turning. There is no continuation of this connection. And sadly, what they're giving you is not enough to suffice, and it's leaving you kind of left out in the cold. And it's quite annoying, I will say. So I apologize because the situation feels very stressful, because you feel and they feel that the connection is there and that there is something to grow, but there is a reluctancy of moving forward because of things in the past. And that is so annoying. I'm sorry. God, that is frustrating. Holy shit. It's like, come on, you seem very, you feel frustrated because, come on, I thought we already dealt through this. I thought you already dealt through your shit. Can we just continue forward with what I thought we had, instead of you getting distracted by things, whether it be your ego and other things? Why even go back to this? So there's just this frustration, and I didn't shuffle. I mean, I shuffled before I started taking the video, but I didn't even realize the bottom of the deck was this. It's like, you make me feel confused. So oh my god, this is based on the Lovers too, so you make me feel confused. Yeah, you make me feel confused because there is a sensation of love, of infatuation, of just an unknown feeling. That's what it says. A pull towards passion with no explanation, knowing what needs to be done, but no movement, conflicting thoughts, logic versus heart. So, what the F? I certainly will say I am quite frustrated for you, and I could understand why you're frustrated, because here we have the Lovers, but why is it so conflicting? Why are we having so many issues? Why can't you just move forward? So I am just as pissed as you. So let's see a little more. I think this is a lie. I don't know why I got this. My heart is open to receiving. Okay, so there is I think this kind of expresses who they are as a person, expresses your connection, because this is a sweet connection. It does open all aspects with vulnerability and just compassion and love at the most center of its core. But I think they are getting distracted with their ego, and that is so frustrating, because it's like life is challenging them to be able to let go of things that they no longer want to let go of, right? It's like, do you actually want to let go of this? So it's like challenging them. Is this truly what you want? Will you go back to where you started? It's just, here's this person again. Will you be able to run the other way? Will you able to continue? Like, are you going to be able to continue your journey? Like, what's your objective here? Tell me, what's your plan? Are you going to go through with it? Because it seems quite lovely. I will say the energy is good. And I do feel like this connection is something that is almost brought together by the universe. I hate saying meant to be, but it is in alliance. It is aligning, I guess, in alignment with kind of what the universe wants for you and this person. But I think this person is going through something challenging where they're trying to figure out and be able to let go of things. So they're getting the moon energy a lot because they are being face to face with something that they are probably putting away and they thought they put away, but in reality it was just collecting dust until they come face to face with it again. So it is quite frustrating. So I'm going to, it's crazy that we got the Lovers twice based on, because this card was based on the Lovers card. I just wanted to make it not as open with the Lovers. When I wrote this, I was like, yes, I get this as a Lovers card, but the Lovers card also comes with a lot of complications and things that are more surface level or more connected with the heart instead of the logical mind, right? So that comes with conflicting ideologies, conflicting thoughts, because you know, what makes us more foolish than love? What makes us do things that we don't usually do because of love? What pushes us in a different direction, right? So we are gonna get more cards because this is quite interesting, more frustrating than anything, but I will say you're a trooper because I do feel like you're making it more light than what the situation is, but you are getting frustrated over time, which is fair enough. Ooh, that was crazy. Intoxication, expectation, and communication. I think it's quite important to communicate. Perhaps I will say your thoughts are plagued by this person, and perhaps this person is plagued by you as well, but more conflicting because it makes their decision making a lot more difficult. So there's these like expectations that you might have, but they might not come in accordance with how you expect. So maybe you were expecting, oh, everything is going so well with this person, and you were, you know, you had the idea that you were going to blossom and flourish with this person, but there is just kind of a standstill, and you're just like, what is going on? I feel like there's also this need for communication. Perhaps maybe you guys haven't communicated properly. Maybe you guys aren't even, I feel like maybe you guys aren't even a couple yet, or maybe you guys haven't established anything. Perhaps there's this time to communicate, or maybe you are a couple and you're just starting to blossom as a partnership, but there's a standstill. So it's important to communicate your boundaries and be like, if something happened in the past, then you have to face it. If something has come up with an older connection, then you have to learn to break it off. It is important to communicate your needs and your wants to be able to, so that way they know, they are like, okay, you know what, this is hurting you and I need to stop this because you are my main priority. What are they prioritizing right now? And they have to make that clear. Who are they prioritizing? And if this connection isn't even stable yet and it hasn't even become a thing, we'll start creating the action to be able to be like, okay, like you care about me, I care about you, I love you, you probably love me. So can we make this stable? Can we make this real? So that way we can start taking ourselves seriously and removing and letting go everything that's happened in the past. So there's this need and this desire to connect and be more than just what the heart wants. So there's probably this need to speak through the mind and come to a kind of an agreement with the heart and the mind for both of you, so that way you guys can be on the same page. There's this lack of the same page. It's like you don't know where their mind's at, and they're kind of putting everything off balance, and I'm not gonna lie, they are confused. And then that makes you confused because their energy is shifting to something that is unstable, and for you that's like, what's going on? This connection was stable, why is it shifting all of a sudden? So if you're coming across this and you are and you don't know what's going on, let's say someone has shifted their energy, you might need to talk with them because something might have happened where it has brought them back to something in the past. Now, I won't say it could be a person. It could be many things. It could be an old relative coming back, bringing up trauma responses. It could be something that reminded them or is triggering them something from the past or an event from the past. That's why you need to communicate. That's why you need to understand. Do not make assumptions that someone, like, that it could be an ex, it could be an old partnership, they are talking behind your back. No, because they are quite in love with you. They are quite connected with you. Always ask. You have to communicate. You have to ask. Do not make assumptions. They cannot read your mind and you cannot read theirs. So try to understand where this is coming from and how you guys can understand each other. Because there is this something that's come up and is making them face things that is distracting to them. So that's what's might be blocking that connection, because you might be like, oh my God, like we were doing so good, we were so in love and we were showing this love and everything was so passionate, and then there was just a stop and a standstill. So what's going on? Has something come up where you're going back and retracting because you need to heal and let something go? That's why you have to talk to them. They have to be vulnerable and let that kind of they have to open up to you, and hopefully they have the courage to open up to you. I'm just going to check the cards at the bottom of the deck. This is all about cleansing. This card, I take it as cleansing, open energy, open to all kinds of energies. So I do think there's a possibility of this to be quite open and to bring in that vulnerability and to understand that there is a chance to heal things, to let things in. So I don't want you to retract. I want you to go forward, and hopefully they are open to receiving you when you ask what's going on. Because I feel like something's going on. I feel like the energy shifted. Please tell me and let me in because I love you, right? Oh, so this is, I think this is for you and them. I was gonna say just for them, but it seems like this kind of them moving their energy away is definitely creating some sort of anxiety that's keeping you up at night, and it's making you quite anxious. I do want to say, don't worry too much about where your mind is going, and that's why I think communication is quite important in this aspect, because you are just kind of plaguing your thoughts with scenarios that are not true and are at the worst possible kind of like the worst possible outcome. And the universe wants to say relax, and that's why it's important to be on the same page and to talk. A lot of the time we tend to play mind games, and I think this is not the time to play mind games, especially when the connection is so strong. So please do not play mind games, because I think it's creating anguish, and they're also anguished because they just don't know how to feel. They might be, this is you because you're unsure of how the connection is, and this is them because they are unsure of how to deal with this past trauma, or them feeling like they are reliving old things again, and they don't want to be there. They want to be there with you in the present, because this is creating a lot of turmoil within them. So on the bottom of this deck, we have the Queen of Wands. I definitely think this is like a shift in energy, which kind of is confusing to me. I definitely think it's just embodying the feeling that everything will be all right, that everything will be okay, embodying the feeling of passion again, and kind of being forward in a way. I think you need to embody this energy of going after something that you want, and clearly you want this to work out. So the universe is telling you not to retract. Just because their energy is retracting doesn't mean they are rejecting you. Understand that they are going back because they need to process things. So it's important for you to be forward and kind of communicate and be like, open the door to that vulnerability. Start talking to them. Be like, hey, like, I realize something's off. Can we talk about it? Or, hey, you mean a lot to me, blah, blah, blah. What's going on? I realize something's going on, and I want to be there for you. So I think your relationship is starting to open up to that area of vulnerability, which probably wasn't there before. So yeah, that's what I at least feel with this card. It's just like the shift in energy in you, and this is kind of the energy you need to embody. Now let's see, anything else? Oh, interesting. Let's see. Yeah, that's like the bottom of the deck for my my little heart messages. It's just like you guys both are feeling as if you can't stop thinking about each other. This is also on the bottom of the deck. I don't want you to take this the wrong way at all. It's just a feeling as you feeling betrayed by them. And I think that's what's making you back away from them. I think that's why I'm saying, like, you're thinking about the worst possible outcome and you believing and feeling like it's a betrayal. Yes, it is, because you had this beautiful connection, right? But now it feels as though they are retracting and you feel betrayed. You feel like, oh, they're ghosting me, or they don't want anything to do with me. That is not the truth. Clearly, they have strong emotions for you and it's mutual, and that's why I'm telling you what the issue is happening right now and what's the cause of it. So that's why I'm saying, please open up communication, because you guys can't keep assuming things, because that'll just kind of ruin the connection and just make you feel like you have to distance yourself more in order to feel kind of better about the situation, right? But yeah, exactly. This was the card right under the betrayal card. It's just, it feels like betrayal because there's no information, you don't know anything, and there is just a lack of what's going on. Give me the information. You haven't told me anything. You've just been quiet. That's not fair to me. So yeah. So I hope that helps. It is quite an interesting situation, and I will say it is most frustrating for sure. I'm just gonna put these cards here. But yeah, I do because of the upside down Six of Cups. It's not like a familiarity that is loved and cherished. It's a familiarity where it's like, this is something that I was expecting to be gone, but because of its introduction in my life again, I am plagued by reliving it. So that is what I get from them. So yeah, I hope this situation clears out, and I hope you can see how you can kind of move forward. I hope this helped a lot. And yeah, take care. Remember to move forward and not to retract, because this is a very powerful connection. And I will see you later. I will see you next week. Okay, guys? Bye! Hi! So, thanks for watching. I appreciate everyone who's come new, and the people who have been watching from the start, which isn't long. It's just been a month. But I appreciate people who come in weekly, and anyone new who has come. I hope you enjoy my content. I love doing tarot, and I just find it so fascinating how each pile can like be so different based on just the energy and the people they're dealing with. That's why I love doing love readings or connection readings, because they each kind of involve a different aspect of a connection and where they are at. So I hope this helped, and I hope this did resonate. Feel free to check out any other ones or any other videos. I do personal readings, so if there's like one particular subject you want to talk about, or if you want to extend on a certain reading, just shoot me an email. All my information is down below. Feel free to subscribe and just put on notifications in case you need to know when I post. Either way, I post weekly, and we'll try to. So yeah, you guys can catch me probably next week. Thanks so much for stopping by. Take care. Bye.